What is up, guys? It is the Turtle Girl. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to painted turtle tanks. So this is going to be a lot of fun. There were submissions from all over the world. And a quick note for those of you who want to submit tanks and are interested in submitting tanks for me to react to. I typically accept submissions about quarterly, so you just have to keep an eye out for future react videos. There will be a link where you can go ahead and submit those. So if you want to submit later on, make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on so that you'll be able to know when you can actually send in some tanks. There is another opportunity to send me something to react to, and that is TikToks. Yes, that's right. Next month, we are going to be reacting to some more turtle TikToks, leopard gecko TikToks, axolotl TikToks, whatever. Please send them to me. Do that, and yes, let's get started with these. Okay. So, painted turtles. Before we get into the first one, I just gotta say, this is a particularly special species to me. You guys know I had my painted turtle Nemo for almost 5 years. So, I love painted turtles. They're great little species, very similar to sliders in care. In fact, I actually did a care video if you want to check that out, but let's hop straight into some of these tanks. This one comes from Joshua in Illinois and is a 40-gallon tank. So right away, I can see that this tank looks to be very, very clean. You said you have a canister filter running on it, and you also have these really neat pieces of wood that are kind of shaped like Ys, and they're actually propping up this main piece that your turtle is actually basking on, which you can see in this photo over here. So it's really nice that you have this naturalistic spot where your turtle can go up to bask. Painted turtles are definitely one of those species that just love to be basking out of the water in the sunshine if they have the opportunity. Actually, some of the very first wild turtles I ever saw in the wild were literally in a pond in Ohio, just basking on the top of some lily pads. So I love that you have this natural area for him to go up, and then you have it basically just decked out with some river rocks. So you have lots of space. Y'all already know I'm gonna suggest maybe some green things, some more decorations to kind of also fill in the space, break up the turtle's line of sight. However, I will say, I don't know about your painted, but I know my painted was relatively distractive, so it's totally understandable if you're struggling to find decorations for your turtle. If I might suggest perhaps some rocks, like bigger rocks that you can actually get from a rock yard, but it's a very nice tank, very clean, and I love your turtle. This next tank is from Michael in Austria, and it is home to, wait for it, Mr. Miyagi, the painted turtle, and friends. So in this tank, you can see that there are some fish tank mates. There's tiger barbs, mollies, and rummy nose tetras. And first, let's just take a moment, appreciate this tank, appreciate the wood, the plants, the black background that's bringing out the contrast of the white sand. Oh, this is just beautiful, and I love that you've been able to create such a beautiful environment, even though painteds can be notorious for being fish eaters or tearing up plants. You shared some tips for keeping plants with your painted turtle. You said you put one of the plants really deep into a small hole in a fake rock that you had, so you were able to, it sounds like, kind of just stick it in there so it's more secure. And then you put the other plant on the right side in the plastic pot that it came with, the small plastic basket that it came in, and simply super glued some heavier rocks on top of it so it wouldn't float around. So that's how you were able to accomplish having this, I think it looks like maybe Java fern or something of that sort. Wonderfully done. You can see your turtle up here on the basking area. You've got some fake turf as well to provide some grip. And I also really like the look of black egg crate. I'm not sure if that's a thing that's more abroad. They have black egg crate or light diffuser or whatever they call it. I know that here, typically what you find is white, but I really like the look of the black egg crate. This is like my ideal turtle tank right here. It's honestly what I was going for the longest time with Nemo, except Nemo didn't like fish and Nemo didn't like plants. So great job with this. Mr. Miyagi looks so happy. So I'm so glad you sent this in for me to react to. I just absolutely love this setup. This next tank is from Marissa in North Carolina and home to Skittles, the baby painted turtle. So as you can see in this tank, there's quite a bit going on. We have two basking areas on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side. You've got one that's suction cupped to the wall, and then also one of the floating basking docks. You also have this really cool decoration that kind of reaches all the way to the top. It's nice that the turtle could like climb all the way up that and rest at the surface. We also have most mostly bare bottom here, as well as some river rock on the left hand side to add some texture. I really like that, along with the fake plants. And then also, if we look closely at your hang on tank filter here, I think we'll see something interesting. So if we zoom in a little bit, you can see that this filter actually has a bit of a ramp that perhaps you added. And what this might do is, this is my guess, this is my assumption, is that the water actually falls along that piece of plastic or whatever it might be and helps to silence that sound. So I know some people, it drives them crazy that the tank in their room or wherever it is just making this constant noise, this constant waterfall. To me, it has become white noise and background noise, but for a lot of people, sometimes they're looking for ways to silence that. So this is one way to do it, is just find something for the water to travel along so that it just goes into the surface of the water. This next tank is from Kyle in Florida and is home to Killer, the painted turtle. Love the name. You've said you've had this turtle for a really long time. If I'm understanding correctly, it sounds like over 25 years, which is absolutely amazing. You've got the rocks, you've got the wood, you have a bubbler in the corner, which I love, as well as some aquarium co-op easy planters. Shout out to the co-op. They have some really, really great things in their shop, and these easy planters are definitely one of them. I have used them in my tank for a while to put some Java fern in, and it just helps to prevent those plants from being knocked around. If you want to see the video I did on those, you can click the link up here. But going back to this tank, it's just very well done. There's spaces where the turtle can rest and hide, and you also have this really cool basking area on top made of egg crate, and in that egg crate it looks like maybe you have cork bark or some kind of like wood tile on the top. The good thing about this is that it probably absorbs heat a little bit better, and so it lets the turtle's bottom shell dry off. The basking area probably dries off better as well, which is always a good thing. Really, the only thing I have to say about this is kind of that space underneath the tank. If you could find a way to illuminate that. So just for the sake of like this being a display tank, that might be something that would be cool to do, but I love your setup here. You've got all your bases covered, and I'm sure that Killer is a very happy turtle. All right, this tank here is from Sydney in Ontario, Canada, and this is home to a younger painted turtle. First impressions, I love that you have a lot going on here. There's some decorations off to the side. There looks like to be some kind of magnet rock stuck on the edge, as well as a big hide on the right hand side, as well as a basking area that you kind of made from that as well by stacking another decoration on top. You said you were planning on upgrading this, which I'm very happy to hear. Based on kind of the size of your turtle relative to the size of the tank, I think that's a great decision on your part. Painted turtles just love to swim and they love to bask, and just in general, they are very active turtles. So to give them as much space as possible is always a good thing. One thing I do want to note is that you are using a red bulb. For one, you want to make sure that that light is also producing UVB in addition to heat. I know a lot of bulbs that are red produce heat, but not necessarily UVB. So just make sure you also have that for your turtle, because your painted turtles will definitely be using that. And then also, turtles can use like natural daylight. You don't need to, protect their eyes really. And just having natural daylight that provides some brightness as well, that also helps illuminate the tank, can be helpful for their, what is it called? Their photo period. I always mess up that word. But anyways, Sydney, thank you so much for sharing your tank, and I look forward to hopefully seeing your upgrade as this goes along. This next tank is a hatchling tank from Ariana, and you can see here this turtle is quite small and the water level is quite low. So Ariana was actually telling me about how this turtle was previously kept in much shallower water, and so she is incrementally raising the water level so that the turtle can, gain some muscle and get used to having deeper water. I would suggest one thing that would help with that is also having some decorations inside the tank that the turtle can rest on. So as the water depth increases, the turtle still has stuff to support it as it's getting to the surface. So decorations is always a good thing. Plus it also adds some enrichment so that your turtle has more to interact with in its environment as well. So that's also a good thing. You mentioned that plants didn't really work for you. I totally get that. Painteds can often rip them up, eat them. I totally get it. But even some wood or branches, sticks, decorations from the pet store that are resin or plastic, those work great as well. Look, you can even see this turtle basking. So even baby painted turtles like to get up out of the water and go basking. It's just something that all painted turtles do. As the turtle gets larger, filtration is obviously something that you'll have to upgrade, but for now, I think this is a great basic setup. You have your UVB over there on the side, and I'm glad to see that this turtle is doing well for you. This 40-gallon tank is home to Henry Leonardo the painted turtle and comes from Haley in Pennsylvania. This is just a lovely tank, definitely like something I would probably put together. What you have here is an above tank basking area. You have it supported by some egg crate underneath because sometimes, 40-gallon breeders are wider. I think they're like 16 inches across or 18 inches across, and so those 12-inch basking areas that you can buy from the store don't always fit, so you have to sometimes be creative to figure out how you can make that basking area fit. You've got black sand, you've got some beautiful pieces of wood and rock in this tank. The only real comment I have here is perhaps finding a way to illuminate the entire tank, because you can kind of see even from the pictures that the left side is a little bit darker, and so it can create a better viewing experience, at least for you, when you have light on that other side of the tank. Oh my gosh, so cute! Oh, look at that little baby. Look at that little baby face and tell me you are not in love with turtles. Like, please. That is so cute. Like, so cute. Oh, I love him. Alrighty, this tank is from Emily in Kansas, home to this cute little tiny eastern painted turtle, a little hatchling. I think this is a 55-gallon. It is just impressively big for the size of this turtle. This is definitely something that your baby will be able to grow into as they get larger. I absolutely love that. You've got some fun plants in here for some color, an internal filter which will work just fine as the turtle is this small, probably not producing that much waste compared to the water volume in there. You've got a DIY basking area, great job with that. You mentioned that you don't have a lot of decorations because he likes to swim around a lot. I would still suggest, maybe even just some wood in there would be a nice addition, but I love that your turtle has this much space and that he will be able to grow into this. So thank you so much for sharing, Emily. This here is Terry, the southern painted turtle, and this tank was sent in by Roman from Pennsylvania. This tank also has some Oscars and some other cichlids, it looks like. You said you have a sump on this tank, but currently you're using a hang-on back because your sump is not functioning. I wish you the best of luck in getting that back up and running, but you can see you have your basics covered. This turtle has plenty of space, a basking area with heat and UVB, as well as some awesome turtle art. That's always a cool thing to have. Now I have to say it because would this be my channel if I didn't say it? I would love to see some more decorations, but again, space, the amount of space in here is awesome. Painted turtles like to swim. I also love your stack of rocks in the background, so that kind of gives the fish place to hide. And this is just a really neat setup, so thank you for sharing. So those are all the tanks I'm going to be reacting to today. I hope you guys found some inspiration and that you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to drop a thumbs up. And reminder, make sure you send me those TikToks for the next installment of the React series. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Huge shout out to the patrons who make this video possible. If you're unfamiliar with Patreon, it's just a really great way to support my channel. There's more information if you click the link over here. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next Friday. Have a totally awesome day. Bye!